to demonstrate about. This is because the Commission has repeatedly requested the data on discrepancies from the NDC to no avail. We are of the view that the stand taken by the NDC will not produce a credible register. The Commission is of the view that the best place to resolve the issues they have identified is the discussion table. We urge them to submit details of the discrepancies they have identified to enable the Commission investigate the issues and demonstrate to them that the concerns they have been resolved. As indicated earlier, the EC assured the NDC during the meeting that it would conduct a thorough investigation and report on the issues they had detected within a week. Why are they refusing to submit the data to enable the EC to investigate and provide a report? The EC believes that the best way to ascertain the credibility and integrity of the 2024 voters register is the discussion table, not on the streets.
Playing a chase-up game on us because we left this in 2015. When they said, oh, MPP is talking nonsense, MPP is talking rubbish.
Having the EC of today different from the EC in 2016, if that is their own admission and that they are not proud of their history as an institution, then we thank them for confirming all the things we have been saying about it. Where were the plants and animals? Those people who are in EC now, the only people who have changed are the MPP people they appointed and added. And so if they are claiming that the 2016 register was not EC register, but it was NDC register, by implication they are telling us that 2024 register is MPP register. So I don't think that they think through some of these pronouncements before they make them. We have institutional image, institutional perpetual succession, and so on. So why on earth would anybody from the institution they represent come to blame NDC for the work of that same institution they are representing?
Finally, they say that demonstrations won't change anything. It won't lead to a credible register. And so they want John Mahama to appeal to you people to come to the table. They expect to speak to you so that they can resolve your concerns and not for you to go out there and demonstrate.
Sorry, they are assuming that John Mahama cannot think for himself. Because the election we are going into is a presidential election and parliamentary election. If there is any interest to be protected there, John Mahama's interest is greater than all of us.
You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis platform. We'll go straight and get some answers for you over the questions that leading the NDC to a nationwide demonstration, which the EC says is unnecessary because it will resolve nothing. I'll ask the question, why are they not also looking at the courts? Because that's where we resolve the issues when the parties cannot agree to amicably settle and resolve them. The NDC is complaining that as many as 243,000 plus previous transfer votes have illegally been added to the 2024 register, including what they call repeated names. They point to 15,000 plus unidentifiable voter transfer paths, which they say are potential issues with fake registrations. They point to in excess of 3,000, almost 4,000 voters in the 2023 register deleted from the 2024 provisional register due to the transfers. They are speaking to in excess of 2,000 voters transferred to different polling stations but not listed in the absent voter list as required by law. So far, the EC has admitted 3 mistakes, calls them mistakes. And these are inaccurate voter registration figures, faulty voter registration graphics, and errors in transferred voters. It admits to that. But why is he refusing the audit that the NDC is requesting? Dr. Omane Boamah is Director of Elections and IT of the NDC. He joins us via Zoom. Also, Dr. Bosman Asare is Deputy Chairman, Corporate Services at the EC. He joins us via phone. We will speak to them in the next 20 minutes, strictly. And after that, here in the studio, we have John Alote, who is Chief Executive, Forestry Commission. The duty bearers are here in the studio to take your questions. So even ahead of my interaction with them, transparency, I open up to you. Send me all the questions that bother you about the job that the duty bearers are supposed to be doing. Duty bearers starting from the President, the Minister of Lands, the Minerals Commission boss, who is here in the studio, Forestry Commission boss, who is here in the studio. Martin Kwekueisi is Chief Executive, Minerals Commission. He's here in the studio. Professor Gladys Nyako Ansa is Associate Professor and Co-Principal Investigator of the University of York, UK, University of Ghana Galamsey Project. Professor Dr. Paul Poku Sampene Osei is Senior Lecturer and Professor in Forensics and Histopathology, KNUST School of Medicine and Dentistry. Histopathologist, he is at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital as well, Kumasi. He joins us via Zoom from outside of the jurisdiction. So let me go straight to Dr. Omane Boamah to begin with. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Welcome, Samson, and a very good morning to you, your panelists, who I believe will do justice to the Galamsey menace, and to Ghanaians who are watching and listening to us this morning.
Assuming I have not heard you about the figures you put out and the particulars and the heads of irregularities or wrongs or mistakes on the part of the EC that you accuse the EC of and for which you say you have not been listened to and therefore you are going to on a demonstration. Please help my viewers, the millions in Ghana and abroad who are watching us this minute. Help them understand what your issues are in the next 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Teacher Samson. I know your 5 minutes is exactly 5 minutes.
I'll hold you to it.
I know. We must say that prior to this exhibition exercise, the Electoral Commission was expected to have given the register to the political parties ahead of time for us to be able to study it. And indeed, the Electoral Commission appropriately wrote to us and indicated that we were to submit hard drives to collect the registers. Unfortunately, this letter was written as far back as July. August came, the hard drives were unavailable to us. Then they reassured us that on the 14th of August, we were going to receive the register. That also passed. Then they communicated that it was going to be received on the 16th. 16th came and passed, and we still did not receive it. Unfortunately, the exhibition was commencing on 20th of August. That meant that we barely had 4 days to the exhibition exercise. That weekend passed. 19th, the day to the exhibition, it was afternoon that the Electoral Commission released the register to us as NDC. That indeed put a lot of strain on us, but we are committed to building our democracy because we've opted for that path as a nation, and it is an appropriate path. It's a peaceful path. It helps to deepen development in nations. So we worked round the clock, 24/7, distributed the registers constituency by constituency basis to all the 276 constituencies and asked them to begin to scrutinize. Whilst they were doing it, we also, at the national level, ran some comparative analysis by comparing the end 2023 register that was used for the district level election with the 2024 provisional voters register that had been given. So the software analysis, and we shared the exact software that we used with the Electoral Commission when we met them last week, Friday. So far, the revelation are startling. They include 243,540 previous transfers that have been added to the 2024 transfers. 15,000 plus unidentifiable transfer parts. And the question is, where are they coming from? Where were they registered? 3,957 voters in 2023 register who are completely missing from the 2024 register. 2,094 transfers not found in the absent list. And the last but not least is the corrupt files, where you open the file, you don't find the photo, you don't find the name, you don't find the age. So we presented all these in addition to other discussions. But you'll recall that prior to the meeting, based on past experience with the Electoral Commission, which has basically eroded trust between us, we wanted the media to cover it live so Ghanaians and the media will know exactly what had transpired. Unfortunately, the Electoral Commission blocked the media and blocked our request and refused to allow us to bring in the media to cover the program. Let me start our germane concern because I know your 5 minutes is your 5 minutes. Look, consider a person whose name will not appear on the register. When we raised it at the meeting, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission said, once the person is holding a voter's ID card, they can write the person's name on the register. We vehemently opposed that and said, and I remember saying, that will be the Richard Ahiagba criminal phenomenon. You can imagine the people who may be able to show up there with fictitious ID cards, and then some presiding officers who may be compromised will just write their names and allow them to vote. So that is not something that we should be considering. The other variant is the EC has admitted to some errors. We don't call them mistakes, to some errors. When they correct those errors, how do they expect the people whose errors they've corrected to know that they have indeed effected the corrections? So that led to one of the recommendations that we made, which the EC so far has not spoken to, beyond the fact that they will not permit a forensic audit. And our remedy was that at least there should be a re-exhibition of their corrected or their updated register so that people who had complaints, people who paid monies to verify their ID situation and witnessed problems and reported can be assured that indeed the corrections have been made. Otherwise, we may end up even introducing up because of if the person feels that, well, I complain, but am I sure that it's been corrected? Did I go to the polling station on December 7 to reassure that Ghanaian, that ordinary Ghanaian, that yes, it has been corrected? Just re-exhibit the register again.
Right.
Unfortunately, the EC, after blocking the request for the forensic audit of the register and the EC's IT system, also has been mute about the re-exhibition.
Right.
Then it leads me to the issue of what we asked for and what they also asked for. In there, the EC asks that we submit our findings to them. And we also said that since we had made it clear to them that, okay, because our work is ongoing, can we also, in exchange, we didn't oppose submitting our findings to them. We are ready and willing. Can we also have what you claim to have updated so that in our comparative analysis, we do not excavate and identify problems that you've already resolved?
But doesn't that sound like a
good morning, Council. Good morning to your viewers, listeners as well. Let me state very clearly that from the onset, as Dr. Manibuama pointed out, we had a meeting with the NDC. In this particular meeting, they made it very clear that they had identified some issues, and there was a presentation that said. After the presentation, they gave the impression that within the next few days, we were going to get evidence of their presentation. So in that meeting, the commission agreed that give us that particular evidence which the NDC acceded, so that when we finish and we do it, we will inform you. In that same meeting, the NDC lead person on technology who did the presentation, I remember, I think the name is Mr. Yara Kuku. He gave a particular voter ID card which was missing in the register. In that same meeting, our IT lead person also indicated that this person you are saying is missing from the register. This person is indeed actually in the register. Beyond that, Mr. Ayenini, we told the NDC that all the concerns should be raised. When you look at the CI 91, as amended by 126, the exhibition exercise, which is stated in Regulation 23, it emphasizes that once you do a registration, it's not going to be perfect. It's essential for you to display the register so that when some names are missing, you will include them in the register. When some names are not properly written, you will write them properly. When names are omitted in that manner. So the exhibition exercise is a self-auditing mechanism embedded in our electoral democracy. So we made it clear to the NDC that all that concerns you are raising, they are part of what we were expecting as far as the exhibition is concerned. And Mr. Ayenene, I can say without a shadow of doubt that all the concerns the NDC has raised, the Commission strongly believes that we have addressed them. Because during the exhibition exercise, it was meant to do correction. And we've called the NDC repeatedly that the evidence you claim you have, bring them to us. Once you bring them to us, we cross-check, because we know we have done everything. Beyond that, Dr. Manibuama mentioned that some 240,000 or so people transfer lists have been added to the 2024. We compiled this register in 2020. We added some people onto it, about 910,000 people onto it in 2023. And in 2024, we've added almost 880,000 or so. 2020 register was given to the parties. 2023 was given to the parties. 2024 has been given to the parties. So we at the Electoral Commission, we believe that by giving it to you, you can go through those internal processes to make sure if people are missing. And we are saying that we have addressed all these concerns. And when you look at the transfer issue, because we did the transfer in 2020 and 2023, when we were displaying the data, all the transfers were put together, which we've explained to you. So it's not as if the EC is trying to hide something from the NDC or from the good people of our country. And we have maintained that the best way to be able to address any problem the NDC has is that let's come to the discussion table. Because all the things you are talking about, they are the reasons why we are doing the exhibition exercise. I'm not trying to say the commission is perfect. Neither am I trying to say we are angelic in the way we do our work. Definitely, because you are dealing with human beings, numbers, some people's pictures may not be captured properly. The corrupt files he mentioned, for example, all these things have been addressed. And we are saying that NDC, if still you have certain genuine concerns, our doors are open. When you talk about, Dr. Maniboma was talking about forensic audit. Once you talk about, I'm not an auditor, neither a lawyer, but once you talk about forensic audit, you are suspecting some fraud in the system. But these are registers that have been given to you. You should be able to cross-check and match numbers and be sure. And the EC is saying that all these things have been addressed. It's the reason why we do the exhibition exercise. So if you still have concerns, you come to us. And the evidence you told us that Dr. Maniboma mentioned that 15,000 transfers, they cannot vouch for where they were moved from. 3,954 or so people have been removed. And we are saying, bring us the evidence. Let's put the evidence into scrutiny. And we, Electoral Commission, we are saying that we have addressed all these concerns.
Explain to me.
Come to the discussion table.
Explain to me, Dr. Bossman.
NDC is interested in having a credible register. The NPP is interested. We, the Electoral Commission, that's what we do for a living.
Right,
Our
Dr.
reputations are on the line. And we've got to make sure that we have a register that is credible, that is robust, that is inclusive. When we talk about a register, Mr. Ainani, the register is the bedrock of the election. So we will do everything possible, everything necessary.
Thank you, but can you hear me?
To ensure that we have a document that will stand up.
Dr. Sari, can you hear me?
Many countries are learning from us. They are coming to us.
Dr. Sari, can you hear me?
If you have concerns, come to us. That's why in our press conference we are.
I hear you. Dr. Bosmanasari, can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me, Dr. Bosmanasari? Hello, Dr. Bosmanasari.
We are doing it for the good people of our country.
Dr. Bosmanasari, you can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Kindly explain to me, when you say all the issues they have raised, you have resolved them, and yet you want them to come and sit for what?
Mr. Ainani, I was making the point that if they still have concerns that those issues have not been addressed, well, we need to sit down so that we explain everything to you. We get our IT experts to explain everything. And you know, in that meeting, NDC assured that they were bringing us the evidence. You mentioned 3,954 without any substantiation. You haven't given any evidence. Give them to us. And we've also said, if you still have any concerns that the problems have not been addressed, the best way to do it is to come to the discussion table.
Okay. So listen to them. Listen to them.
So that we show them the evidence that all these things you are raising, we have done them.
Dr. Sari, listen to them. Is it fair? Is it fair when they say that we've shown you a number of issues? Those we have made full disclosure on to you. You have just come to tell us you have resolved them. We don't have evidence of the resolution. So if we have extra issues, we cannot trust that if we give them to you, you resolve them. What is the problem with giving them proof of the resolution of the three that you have admitted?
Mr. Ainani, when you look at our system, the data center, how we operate, it's not something like just you are just copying a register and giving to a political party. It goes through a lot of processes. So that's why we said if you have any critical, we are available. You know, what we do is that we get the register to the parties ahead of the election exercise. Before the election December, we are going to give the party again the final register. You know, so yes, we go to a legal process. People who have objected, people who did are included in the register, they go to a legal system where magistrate will say include them or include them in that manner. And we want to finish all those processes and then we put a final document together, which will be used for the activity in December. So when we say NDC should come to the discussion table, come and let's show you the evidence.
All right.
Yeah,
Hold on for me. Dr. Manibuama.
Certain things have not been done.
Dr. Manibuama, is this not reasonable that, yes, you have given us a part of your issues. We have told you and assured you that we have resolved them. But at this time, we cannot give you the evidence. Whatever extra issues you have, bring them to us. We will resolve those also. And then there is an appointed time when we will give all parties the register one more time. This is provisional. Then we'll give you the final one so you can confirm if your issues you raise have been resolved or not. Is this not reasonable? Is it not fair?
Samson, thanks once again. This is based on the premise of trust. The Electoral Commission has eroded the last atom of trust that we had in them. And we had a plethora of evidence. Your time limitation will not allow it. Credibility-wise, reliability-wise, and even self-interestedness. As a result of that, we decided that, look, let us deal with the issues that arose out of the meeting. And that is why it is sad that the Electoral Commission, that has transparency in their motto, prevented the media from covering it. Otherwise, a lot of the issues we are raising, you would have had them within your systems already. I have said 4 issues arose, and the 4 issues are interconnected and related. The EC should not cherry pick. What were the 4 issues? 1, forensic audit. 2, that we will submit our findings. 3, that after the forensic audit, re-exhibition, that was a proposal that came from us. And then the 4th is we sent a hard drive, an empty one, that you, even before this meeting, you've been saying you've addressed our issues. If you have, let us have them so that as we keep on scrutinizing the register, we will not be doing double work that you have already done. Of these 4, the EC has said we are not going to permit forensic audit. As for re-exhibition, if Dr. Bosman Asare can inform us what their position is, because we believe after all that they claim they are doing, which we must believe that they are effecting, the people who are concerned, ordinary voters, the people you are seeing on the screen, should be able to confirm that yes, it's been done. Are they ready to allow for re-exhibition? Till date, they've not spoken about that. So 1, they blocked the forensic audit, which we asked for. 2, they blocked the re-exhibition, which we asked for. 3, they have blocked making available their claimed resolution of the issues so far. They won't give us all the 3, but they insist that we should trust that if we provided them with additional information, they are going to address them. This is not equity.
What section 23 of 23.1 of CI 91 provides is that there will be an exhibition of the register. And this is what they say they have done. And you participated in the process. And the purpose of the exhibition is so that there could be inclusion of omitted names. There could be objections to names of unqualified voters on the register. There could be removal of names of deceased persons from the register. Objection to names on the multiple or exception list. Replacement of poor quality or damaged voter ID cards. And correction of errors, such as wrong spelling of names, age, sex, and wrong registration center codes, among others. Is this not the laid down process that allows the correction that you seek? And why do you want to bypass this for an audit? And it does appear you are looking for an audit by an independent body rather than the EC.
What CI 91 never anticipated is the contest of stolen biometric voter registration kits under CCTV surveillance under the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. What CI 91 didn't anticipate is the criminal transfer of voters in their absence from Tamale South to Pusiga. And the EC, now after we put it out, coming to admit that they have now introduced the liveliness test so that you cannot just present a person's photo to the screen and the screen will allow for transfer. Dr. Bosman said they were expecting certain things. If they were expecting, how come they didn't anticipate the criminal transfers that took place? And it had to require the revelation for them to come and assure us that they have now introduced the liveliness test. So, Samson, we are not dealing with an ordinary situation. And unless anybody will want to suggest that a re-exhibition of the register after all the so-called corrections have been effected is going to be against the letter and spirit of the law, we don't buy that. That is one. Two, the forensic audit. It is based on lack of trust. The Electoral Commission says we will not grant it. It is in their bosom. The data is with them. We cannot force them to grant it. But the Constitution also allows us to engage in public manifestation, to take our issues to the good people of Ghana, the very people that we are seeking to protest, so that when they go to the polling stations on December 7, they will find their names in the register. That is all that we are seeking to do.
A similar exercise in 2016 by the NPP led to scenes that we don't want repeated. Horse whips that were used to whip people, water cannons that were hot water thrown at people. People lost their eyes in that kind of demonstration. Why will you choose that path if you feel the EC is not ready to listen to you? Why won't you choose the path of the arbiter of last resort, the courts?
Samson, you know better. Your knowledge in law is way beyond mine. ADR before the courts. Is this independent forensic audit, which we have even on countless occasions suggested that the UNDP should be the facilitator. And in a variant where political parties can even propose the IT experts to do it. What form of technology-driven ADR would this be? Should we be running to the courts every time? The courts will be choked. So if they don't want the time-tested principle of ADR, and they want us to go and stand in court and be, no, we have opted for the ADR approach. They don't want it.
ADR is voluntary. As it stands now, you are directing the EC. As it stands now, you are seeking to compel the EC. the EC will point you to the Constitution. Article, is it 46? That says that they are not supposed to be under the direction of anybody apart from the Constitution. What would you say to that?
Thompson, when we directed them that their arithmetic was wrong, they didn't say they are not supposed to be under our direction during the limited voter registration. They quickly corrected it. We corrected them again. They didn't say they are not supposed to be under our direction. They corrected it. You understand? So let's interpret the Constitution purposely. All I'm saying is, look, the EC, it's sad that the EC is demonstrating to Ghanaians that they have something to hide.
They have told you ahead of time.
Covering the meeting.
They have told you ahead of time that your demonstrations will amount to nothing.
Well, let's cross the bridge when we get there. Coming Tuesday, 17th September, Ghanaians will rise up in their numbers across the 16 regions of Ghana, with the epicenter being Accra, and show that enough is enough of the many errors. I don't call them mistakes. And there are some of them that we are right to suspect are even deliberate. There are some of them that are criminal, that obviously, and they have not even denied the ones that are criminal. We think that if they have nothing to hide, they should accept the forensic audit to be facilitated by the UNDP.
Okay, Dr. Manibwama, thank you very much. As you have clearly admitted, today we want to deal with the issue of the existential threat, Galamsey, part 2 of what we started last week. Of course, we understand that this republic must be a peaceful place before we can be having such discussions. If elections will turn violent and bloody, and there will not be a government, or there will be a situation that does not allow us to do this, then this discussion itself will not be useful. That's why we decided that we deal with this issue, however brief, before we move on to the matter of Galamsey. Dr. Bosman Asare,
I'm here.
Yes, as it stands now, your position, which you have expressed, has been completely rejected. You say you don't give a damn. They should go and bend the sea. Is that where we are?
We at the Electoral Commission think that the NDC leadership who have taken to the route of demonstration, they are misinforming their people. They seem to be exaggerating problems in the register which are non-existent. The Commission has made it very clear, openly to the NDC, openly to the good people of Ghana, international partners, that
Dr. Asare,
that is credible.
Dr. Asare, forgive me for this interruption, but can you hear me out? Forgive me for this interruption.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
They are misleading their followers with issues that are non-existent. Is that the tone you want them to hear when you say they should come to a meeting?
I was making the point that they are misinforming their members about the problems. Well, we are saying we have resolved them.
How do you expect them to trust? How do you expect them to take your assurances when you say they are misinforming their followers and they are dealing with issues that are non-existent? And in fact, you organize a press conference. You organize a press conference, and you have a statement. You have, as it were, read over and again, proofread, and allowed certain portions of that statement to be read publicly, where you tell the NDC to the face that in 2016 there were names of plants and animals, and pictures on the register in the name of voters, and they didn't object. So they cannot object now when there are issues? I think,
Council, we were trying to make the point that even in the 2015 register, there were problems. Perhaps more problems than what we are talking about now. But the NDC didn't raise any serious issues then. And we think that the issues they are raising now, they are problems we have addressed. So Electoral Commission is saying that we have addressed, and we are inviting the discussion table. We can do so with all the political parties. But as I said earlier, all of us are interested in peaceful elections. We are interested in credible elections, and we know credible register is very, very essential. So come discuss the table. Let all of us look at it so that all of us don't eat across our way. What we are saying, come and do the discussions and all of us will be very satisfied that we are going into the elections with a credible register.
But are you
satisfied that the register for the elections is very credible?
But
we want MP.
Sincerely speaking, Dr. Botsmasare, are you proud to read a press statement to the whole of the public saying that these were the problems that the 2016 register was fraught with, and at the time the NPP raised hell, and you decided that you wouldn't listen to them? I stood with the NPP in that demonstration, and I remember the NDC too. Sometimes, like they say in this country, you see where we are now. I was being said to be lawyer for the NPP people when I was not even their lawyer. I was just advocating for them. And some NDC people were attacking me at the time. Are you proud to say that these problems existed? NPP raised them. Because NDC didn't raise them, they should shut up?
Mr. Ayen, I was making this point. I was trying to paint a picture that when you do the exhibition, you unearth, you uncover this problem. The essence of the exhibition is to identify. So in 2016, when those things were identified, the exhibition process was to correct that. I wasn't trying to make a case, making the point that what you do here, you uncover problems of this nature. That's what we have uncovered, and so that's the fair point of the exhibition as basically read in CI 23 is to address this process. And the youth is saying, and you can read our list, that this problem can address. And that if you still have any doubt, let's come to the discussion table. But we want the party to be happy going into the elections that we are dealing with acceptable register.
Okay. So, finally, you are unable to update them on their specific issues which they have disclosed to you, which you say you have resolved. You are unable to update them by way of the evidence for now. But yes,
let me make this clear. In that, there was conclusion. NDC gave us their hard drive, and they informed us that they were going to give us the problem they have, what they have identified. So that, and we told them, once you give it to us within a week, we are going to call you back for a meeting. The meeting was held a week from yesterday. So the plan was to meet them latest within a week. And as I mentioned to you, when you finish the exhibition, there are certain legal processes. The what you read in Regulation 23, the magistrate is going through that process, objections, inclusions in that manner. And all these are names that must be input in the register. Some of them must be removed. And the commission is working on that. And it's the reason why we are saying that if the former president, a respected statesman, bring your party to the discussion table. Because NDC, Dr. Manebuama, who's a credible register, the EC, that's what we do for a living. Okay. And we have to make sure, do everything to ensure we have that. So if you still doubt, let's meet at the discussion table. The EC will show you all the evidence. The ones you still claim you have, bring them to us.
Do you find that, you can avert this demonstration and what it means for that day for economic activity if you reached out and were a bit more conciliatory, and decided that you don't breach any law, you don't breach any regulation if you gave them evidence of what you say you have resolved, which is their reason for not submitting the further evidence they say they have of the other infractions that they mention?
As I think we have done that. It's the main reason why in our press conference we made it very clear that come to the discussion table. I think we have been very, very conciliatory because we think that it's in the hands of Dr. Manebuama, the NDC, the MPP, the Electoral Commission to live in a very peaceful country. So we've sent the olive branch that please. So if the NDC calls us that they want to meet us on Monday, if the schedule permits, we are going to arrange and meet them. If they want us to meet us on Tuesday, with this week we've done the nomination exercise. Okay. And we are anticipating that by next week, hopefully we will know those who are going through. So we have some activities lined up.
Thank you.
But in the interest of our peace, our democracy, our development, if the NDC calls, they sent us a letter that, based on A, B, C, and D, they want to meet the commission on Monday, on Tuesday, the commission will seriously look at it. Because a letter will not exist for ourselves.
All right, Dr. Bosman, thank you very much. Dr. Bosman Asari is the director, he's the deputy chairman, corporate services at the Electoral Commission. And Dr. Manebuama is Director of Elections and IT at the NDC. That's where we are. Obviously, it's a deadlock. It doesn't look like the two of them, they are going to reason where it has gotten to. Let's see, before Tuesday, what happens, and after Tuesday, what happens. We'll be right back to ask if the president hears God or hears the people, if it is serious when we say the voice of the people is the voice of God. We'll be right back.